Hey y'all, so I'm going to do something really different today, and I'm actually doing this voiceover a few days later after I've already done this, so I hope I remember everything that I used. I tried to do 5 cards in about 45 minutes, and it actually took me right around that, or maybe like about a minute over. And you guys might be thinking, 45 minutes? That's a long time. Well, I didn't have much preparation, and I really didn't have any designs laid out or anything like that, and I didn't have all of my crafts sitting right next to me. I'd have to like get up and get them. So that was kind of my challenge for this day, and I believe it was like maybe last Sunday. So I started off with some Nina Desert Storm cardstock and a cutout from the Silhouette, and the cutout is just a wedding dress. I just searched wedding, and it showed me this image. I cut out two of the same size and then embossed one of them and cut off the skirt. Now I'm adding jewels to the top of the skirt, and I have a little bit of some trouble with these rhinestones. They didn't want to stay where I wanted them, but they ended up being okay. So I put that on pop dots and then or foam squares, and then I added it to the dress because I wanted the bottom of the dress to have a little something. So this card is really simple, and you'll find that all the cards that I make are really simple. And I'm not really much of a card maker, but I'm trying to force myself to get back into it because it looks really fun and it seems easy, but for me, it just doesn't come as easy as it does for other people. So I am adding, I'm trying to get these jewels straight, and I'm using this Silhouette little picker upper thing. It has some sticky tack on the bottom of it, and then it has the other side shows I was showing was to kind of help move them around. So I've rounded the corners. I'm sorry for the lighting change. The camera that I was using to begin with went out on me, and so I had to go back to the trusty computer that I normally use. So I added dash lines, and then that is the card, but I'll show it more clearly at the end. You guys will see it in a little bit of a slower motion. So I'm not sure what I'm doing next. These corners look like, or it looks like I've already rounded the top flap, and so I rounded the bottom flap, and I'm using this paper pad from Target. Now this is a super cute paper pad, but some of the colors for me screamed kind of like a modern Christmas, and so I thought how versatile like this pad can be, and so I wanted to make a Christmas card out of it, and I'm tempted to get another pad just so that I can make some more Christmas cards. But this was just a Die Cuts with a View cardstock paper pad and that I found when I was trying to clean out some old craft things. And see, that's the good thing about cleaning your things out. And so I just chose kind of like a pinky color that would go with the pattern paper I chose. I embossed it in, I used Versamark ink and embossed it in gold embossing powder. It's Recollections from Michaels, and it seriously is the best. Craft and Kate uses it, and she recommended it. And I wish I could find white and other colors that were just as good as this gold. It's so smooth and so pretty and bright. So I'm just going with the basic design here. And by no means am I a card designer or anything, but I'm using a couple of strips of paper. I cut a banner shape with the other pattern paper just went straight across, and then I cut a banner shape out of this out of the sentiment and put those on foam squares. Sorry, it's early in the morning, so my voice is still cracking. So here's where I made a mistake. I tried to add ink, and then as you see, my paper went over the ink, so it totally smeared it. And you'll see it doesn't look terrible, but I really don't like the way it looks. I didn't think that it matched at all. And so what I did was I tried to use my heat tool to make it look like that was on purpose, and then realized it kind of made it look worse. And so I kept adding, and I know you guys probably have done something like this before. And then, so that's Heidi Swap Sweet Cherry. And then I'm going to try to use the mint green color shine to see if I can just add a little bit more color. So here I took a brush to try to get it to look like it was on purpose. And I actually don't mind the way that it turned out. I just kind of wish I would have done it to begin with. So I'm moving on to my next card. And I'm going to use some cardstock from Recollections. It's a 110-pound cardstock, and it comes in a pack of about 100. And I think you get it for like $12, but I used a coupon, so I got it for less than that. and I'm just scoring it at 4 1/4. It's a standard size card. And I'm not real sure what I'm going to do on this one. I'm trying to wait. It looks like I'm going to be using the cupcake, the greeting farm. It's the cupcake stamp set, I believe. And it used to have a die with it. I didn't order it with it because I ordered it from the scrapyard. But this is really simple. I'm just stamping the bottoms of the card in all one color, which is yellow. And I'm trying to get it as lined up as, you know, as much as possible, but it doesn't really work out exactly the way I wanted to. And this is probably my least favorite card, although it still turned out pretty cute. I kind of wish I would have stamped those on another, on maybe white cardstock, and then cut them out and then popped them on pop dots on this. But that's okay. I was, you know, trying to keep the time under 45 minutes. So now I'm using different colored inks, and I should have looked at the colors of the inks and told you guys, but this is a color box paint box from Michaels, and it's pigment ink, so it takes a little bit of time to dry. In this stamp set, a sentiment came and it says "You're super sweet," and I use one of the pigment inks on that as well. I may round these corners, I'm not sure. Yes, I do, 1/2 inch on each side. And then I wasn't sure, I felt like it needed something and I couldn't figure out exactly what it was, and I felt like I was rushed, and so I wanted to add a heart, and that heart seemed just too big, and so I got another punch. It's from Michaels, it's a Recollections punch, and added a heart, although I don't really like the way that it turned out, but as far as the heart goes, but it was okay. No big deal. I was just proud of myself for getting cards done, because I usually do one card and then put everything else, put it all away because I don't feel like doing another one. So now I'm starting off with the same cardstock that I used before, the Recollections 110-pound cardstock, and then I got some more of the paper from that DC, the Die Cuts with a View, and cut it just like 1/4 inch short. And then that cutout that says "thank you" is from Silhouette as well, and I had pre-cut some things. I find that I don't have a lot of stamp sets where I like the fonts, and so instead of ordering a bunch, I just really think I should use my Silhouette and try to find, it's just a good way to use it. And so that is, sorry, my battery's going dead, so I got distracted. So that's kind of what my thinking was, is I pre-cut a bunch of sentiments and some images, and thought, you know what, I can use these on cards, and then I could use that in the challenge. So that's what I'm doing here. And so this paper is from, I believe it's from the Amy Tan. It's the Yes Please collection, and it's from the 6x6 pad, and I just used the scallop punch or edge punch to give it kind of a cute little edge there. And then I added, yeah, so I cut it twice in 2 different colors, as you can see, that thank you sentiment. So I'll show you guys these, you'll see them at the end a little bit more closely. So next I am going to do a card that says "Miss You," I believe, and so I'm using this, oh my gosh, what is that stamp from? I'll have to put it in the down bar, but it's Background Stamps, and I think it's Paper Smooches. Actually, I'm almost positive it's Paper Smooches, and it has chevron, and I believe it has hexagons, and then it has the polka dots, and I'm going to use the polka dots, and I'm going to try to create a little bit of a background with that. So I'm using Hero Arts ink, and I'll put the color below, but I think it's butter something. Sorry, I'm not prepared at all. This is bad. So I don't really mind that I didn't get a good image there in the middle, because that's going to be covered up. I just wanted to make sure the edges were stamped fairly good. So that's good enough for me. I do not do things perfect at all. So here's another Silhouette cut that I just found, and I thought, I wasn't really planning on using it on a card, but I thought, why not? So Here's the stamp. It's from the Heyday. It's a Studio Calico stamp from the Heyday collection, I believe. And I'm using the sentiment that says miss you. And I believe I'm going to emboss it. Although now looking back, I kind of wish I would have done it in pigment ink or tried something else, just because the Hero Arts, or is it Hero? No. It's Zing embossing powder. I don't know if it's me or if it's the embossing powder, but I don't really care for the way that it turns out. And it's not the ink, because the ink works well. The Versamark ink works well with the gold embossing powder. I just don't know why my white embossing powder never turns out the way that I want it to. So you'll see here, it's kind of bubbly. And I think I do it twice, and I think I end up choosing the first one. It just isn't as sharp and crisp as I would want it to be. And it seems like it took forever to heat set. And it looks okay on camera, but in person, I wasn't crazy about it. So I'm going to cut that with a circle punch, and then I'm going to put it somewhere. I think I put it on the side. So here I'm trying it again because I didn't like the first round. But it doesn't matter because I end up going with the first one that I did anyway. And I was in a time crunch, so I'm going to put that down with regular adhesive, the dot adhesive, and then I'm going to put these on foam squares. But first I'm going to add the dash lines with the Signo Uniball pen. It's the same one Christina Werner uses. And I found that it was the best one for me. And that might seem like a lot of foam squares, but I hate when things like dip into, when I put things on foam squares and then it dips into the paper. I have to have it like completely even. So that's why I put so many. And now I'm putting this on the cardstock, and I just cut it about 1/4 of an inch. So here's all of them completed in about 45 minutes. I was pretty proud of myself, although they're not the best cards ever, but I was proud of myself. I could use these. So there's the wedding one, and I showed you guys the super sweet one first. There's this simple thank you card, a miss you card, and the Christmas card. Thank you guys so much for watching.